Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your February 2022 general readings. We are looking at the first 2 weeks of February from the 1st through the 15th, and this reading is for the air sign of Gemini, our lovely twins. Welcome, everyone. As always, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for taking the time to be here. Your likes, shares, subscribes, feedback, reaching out for personal readings. Thank you for all the support on this channel. So, this reading is for Gemini, the twins, for the first 2 weeks of February 2022. That's if your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign is in Gemini. It's also relevant if you're cross-watching for a Gemini as well. It's a general reading, so it's always going to resonate a little differently for everyone. Watch all of your signs for any additional insight into what's going on in your life. And if you find that something does resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to hear from you. You can also see that contact info by clicking on the description link below. I can usually respond the same day with more information, and I do offer a lot of different types of readings, quite a wide variety, including relationship compatibility readings, 6 and 12-month overviews to give you a look ahead, etc. So if you're interested, send me a message. Okay, Gemini, let's see what the first 2 weeks of February look like for you. I am using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with Legacy of the Divine. So, Gemini, we begin with the Wheel of Fortune, divine timing and orchestration, God, spirit, angels, and guides. God's fingerprints being on something, as I like to say with this. We have no control over that, right? With the Chariot, wow, 2 major arcana cards. This must be, major arcana cards are usually represents that there's either a lot of karmic energy around this, God, spirit, angels, and guides orchestrating or allowing things to happen. Something that is taking up a profound amount of energy in your life right now. So with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Chariot. The Chariot is a card that represents success through absolute determination, perseverance, and willpower on what may perhaps be quite a challenging path. I mean, the Chariot references, the early chariot medieval Roman races, which were quite brutal, right? Only one winner, and everybody else was usually down in the sand afterwards. So success on perhaps a pretty difficult, challenging path. I'm getting that some of you feel that something may be too difficult and there isn't anything you could do about it. Let's keep going. Next, we have the 9 of Swords. Stress, anxiety, worry, insomnia. Your sister sign, Aquarius, got this too. It's my least favorite card in the tarot deck because it represents, a fear of the future that's so extreme that you're all of your fears kind of rise up in your head and hijack your rational mind, It's like not knowing how a situation's going to turn out, but envisioning the worst possible outcome in a very negative, obsessive way, just chewing on it, chewing on it, chewing on it. I know this is going to happen. I know I'm going to lose everything. I know it's going to be this worst possible outcome, until it just kind of invades your whole being, your thoughts, your work, your sleep, all of that, until it becomes so built up in your head and so huge and horrible in your head, but it doesn't actually fit the reality of the situation. It doesn't mean that the source of your concerns and fears aren't valid, but this is building it up and dwelling on it negatively way too much. With the 9 of Swords, we have the 6 of Swords, healing, leaving the worst behind you, slowly but surely on a path of recovery into a more calm, peaceful, harmonious place. It's transitional. I mean, it's still in motion, meaning you've left the worst behind you. You're not quite to the other side yet. You're not quite fully recovered, but you're definitely moving towards that. Now, this is clarifying the 9 of Swords. So this is like fearing this. I often, not always, but I often find similar themes in elemental signs, like air signs will have a lot of the same similar theme, although different details, etc. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. I've done Aquarius too, your sister sign Aquarius, and it's a similar energy. It's like you're fearing the worst and fearing that you won't be able to recover from something. Next, we have the Two of Wands, a crossroads, a decision. Usually because Wands is governed by the element of fire, which is very action-oriented. This is a decision to go down one path or a decision to go down another path. With the Hanging Man, also one that Aquarius got too. The Hanging Man, not taking action just yet. It's like you're waiting for a decision. You're either waiting to make a decision or you're waiting on a decision. The Hanging Man doesn't act. This is about not taking action, not making any decisive moves just yet because you're waiting, you're watching, you're waiting to see how something is playing out, perhaps gaining some new information or perspective in the process. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy and focus for the first half of February is the Star, which is beautiful. One of my favorite cards. It represents renewed and restored hope, faith, and optimism. Renewed because there's an implication that again, this is after something perhaps very difficult or challenging or traumatic has happened. In the tarot, the Star comes after the Tower, after that unexpected thing which completely ends something and puts you on a completely different, life path, or profoundly affects you and moves you off into a different direction. It can be sometimes challenging, right? Because it often can represent the crumbling down and just ending of something. And then the Star card comes next to renew and restore hope, faith, and optimism that the path that you're on, or the new path that you're on, is indeed the one that you're supposed to be on. It's going to lead to your joy and fulfillment. So the restoration of hope and faith, that's your overall energy. I feel like it's probably what you're struggling with right now, because we have the Star, which is renewed and restored hope, faith, and optimism. But then we have this Nine of Swords and the Six of Swords. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to recover from this. I don't know what's going to happen. What if I can't do this? What if it's too hard? What if it's too challenging? What if? So I feel like a lot of you are kind of struggling. Let's clarify that Star card. Well, one just jumped right out. The Five of Wands, conflict, internal conflict, sometimes external conflict. It can be conflict within yourself. It can be conflict with people in your environment. It can be a combination of both. Again, this is clarifying the Star card, so it's perhaps struggling to have faith in a situation, struggling to have faith in yourself even. Struggling to have faith that the outcome is, whether it seems like it at the time or not, is going to be in your best interest. Let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune. The Four of Coins, the Miser card. This can represent hoarding, but it can also represent financial stability or stagnation. It really just kind of depends on the rest of the spread. It represents somebody that's holding, what is the miser? What's a stereotypical miser? It's somebody who hoards their stuff. They're so afraid of losing, or losing more than they need to, or spending more than they need to, so they're very careful. This is about being economical, perhaps being frugal, but it can also represent feeling like you don't have enough. This is clarifying the Wheel. Let's clarify the Chariot. I think this has to do with your fear. The Ace of Coins, the Ten of Coins. A new start, a new beginning, a new job, moving, relocating. Perhaps a sum of money that enables you to start something new. And then the Ten of Coins is long-term security and stability, inheritance. Some of you may be afraid that you're not going to. Maybe you feel like there's a chance, or you're entitled to something. For example, if it was like an inheritance issue, but you're afraid that it's going to be withheld from you, or you're afraid you're not going to get very much, and that it's out of your hands. There isn't anything you can do about it. You're just kind of left waiting to see what happens, but you're kind of like envisioning the worst. It's like you feel that somebody's going to withhold money or something in the earth energy area of your, some kind of security, but there isn't anything you can do about it. It could be about job, just like with your other sister air sign Aquarius. I haven't done Libras yet. I I feel like this is either about the earth energy area of your life, money, finance, property, real estate, assets, job, or if it's about another area of your life, it has a significant impact on, the security aspects of your life. You're afraid that either something's going to be taken from you, or you're going to end up with not enough, or you're going to end up with nothing, or you're going to end up something's being withheld from you. And that can be anything from an actual legal inheritance issue to taxes to a raise, a job, something of that sort, that earth energy area of your life. Let's move on. Let's clarify but it's like fear of what's going to happen that hasn't happened yet. The 9 of Swords and 6 of Swords, like you're fearing the worst possible outcome and feeling helpless. Clarify 9 of Swords, 6 of Swords. The Chariot again. The 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is like being at the end of your rope, the end of a difficult cycle, but it can also represent feeling just completely overwhelmed, like I can't do this anymore. This is coming to an end. It's the Chariot and the 10 of Wands clarifying the 9 of Swords. This is not a good combination of energy, Gemini. This is like fearing the worst, fearing that something is going to be too hard, too difficult, too overwhelming, and you can't, whatever it is that you're facing, and there isn't anything you can do about it. It's kind of like being tied to a railroad tracks and watching the train coming, and feeling like there isn't anything you can do about it. Well, not that extreme perhaps, but yeah, there's all this fear that the worst is going to happen, or fear that you're not going to be able to do something. Something is just too overwhelming. Clarify 6 of Swords, healing. And that you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to get out of it. You're not going to be able to recover. If it's like money loss or something of that sort, or you're needing money, you're waiting for something, could be a loan, an investment. You're waiting for something, but fearing the worst. Page of Swords, 3 of Swords, waiting for that heartbreaking message, or a message that brings emotional pain and disappointment. That you're not going to be able to recover something. I mean, it could be if this is a legal situation and you're suing for money or something of that sort, you're afraid that you're not going to recover it. You're not going to recover from something. Clarify 2 of Wands, choices, decisions with the Hanging Man. Clarify 2 of Wands and the Hanging Man. 6 of Coins. Gift giving, gift receiving. Can also be only getting a little bit when somebody actually could give you more. 10 of Cups is happy home. Maybe about your house, property, alone on a home, mortgage issues, inheritance, division of estate. Yeah, I feel like this is money, finance, property. Could even be job, something about your money. The 4 of Coins is what clarifies the Hanging Man, that sense of waiting for an offer, waiting to see what that offer is going to be, waiting. But fearing the worst. And I don't actually see the worst happening. This reading, Gemini, just feels like it's all about your mental focus on struggling to have faith that something's going to work in your favor, fundamentally. Because it's a general reading, again, that can be, a variety of different subject matter, but the energy fundamentally remains the same. Struggling to have hope and faith, fearing the worst, feeling like you're not up to the task, feeling like you can't do anything, and waiting to see what the outcome is, waiting to see what you have left, waiting to see what is offered. I'm going to actually take a look before I pull some advice and guidance what the next couple of cards from the original deck would have been. Temperance, balance, healing, restoration, grounding, Ace of Coins. Didn't we have that before? We did here too. A new beginning, a path, a new opportunity. Within the Ace of Coins is the potential of the 10 of Coins, which is long-term stability and security, particularly financially. So, similar to Aquarius, Gemini, this feels like there is a path of healing and recovery, and perhaps even a gifting or the opportunity to start off on a new path Could be moving, relocating, a new job, a sum of money that enables you to start something new or to start over. So have faith. Put more energy into that Star card than in that Nine of Swords card. Okay, any final messages, guidance and advice for Gemini for the first 2 weeks of February? Page of Coins. Three of Coins. Compromise, negotiation, collaboration, working together with someone, even though it might be difficult or challenging. Yeah, maybe you're hearing messages that somebody's willing to work with you. There's some kind of compromise or middle ground here. And a very successful compromise. I remember my father telling me when I was younger, a successful compromise means that nobody walks away from the table feeling like they got everything they wanted, but that it was an acceptable compromise. And that means that it was a good compromise, right? So somebody is willing to compromise, or people are willing to work with you, especially if this is a legal situation of some kind or financial situation. Nine of Swords and Five of Coins. Stop fearing the worst. Stop feeling like you're going to end up, begging in front of a church with a little wooden basket in your hand in Europe, right? This is kind of sitting on a curb with a can in your hands kind of energy. Stop fearing the worst. Stop feeling like this is going to, end in the worst possible scenario. You're homeless, you're broke, there's no way out. Stop doing that. There's way too much energy here in this reading, Gemini. I mean, free will, free agency. I'm not here to lecture, even though it probably sounds like that right now. But there's hope and faith and renewal and restoration here. There's a pathway through it. It's not instantaneous, but there's a pathway and an opportunity provided to move forward. And there is an opening for working together with another person or a group of people to kind of resolve this and move forward, an acceptable compromise. Okay, Gemini, those are your messages for the first half of February 2022. I hope you found them helpful. I hope they gave you some food for thought, a little bit of clarity. Again, if any of this resonates with you, you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that info by clicking on the description link below. I'd be delighted to hear from you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the February mid-month readings. Stay safe and well until then. Hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.